In this video, we're going to talk about the MCP servers, that is specifically installing the MCP servers on Windows. So before we proceed further, what's the need for MCP servers? Why do we need to use that? So for example, if we take any LLM, here I have taken the Claude LLM because the Claude LLM has adapted the MCP. The ChatGPT has not yet adapted the MCP servers. That's why I have taken the Claude LLM. And if you ask a question like, can you access my desktop? So the Claude LLM cannot access your desktop or it cannot access any external data. You consider when you ask this question, it replies me back like, I cannot access your desktop files or any files stored on your local device. This is where the need for MCP servers comes into picture. And I'm gonna ask you another question like, can you access my Google Drive? You consider without the MCP, the LLM, any LLM that you take, it can be ChatGPT or Claude, it can be anything. It cannot access the external data. I consider I cannot access your Google Drive files or any file stored in your cloud storage. You consider this is the need the MCP servers comes into picture. So if you look at this diagram here, consider if you look at this architecture, you consider this is the architecture of the MCP servers. It can take any clients. It can be ChatGPT, Claude, or it can be Gemini. So using the MCP, you can access external data like it can be databases, it can be any file, it can be Google Drive, Gmail. And if you look at this another architecture, you will understand it better why we go for the MCP. Consider you can consider the MCP force as the client. That is the cloud in this case that we are using. And using the MCP servers, you can access anything remotely. That is the you can access the Gmail, and you can access the Google Calendar, and you can access anything that you specified in the MCP servers. So you consider without using this MCP, you cannot access external data. LLM can only access what is running on, but using the MCP, you can access the local files or you can access anything that you specify externally. This is the clip that I have taken after I enable MCP on my cloud. You can see that after I enable MCP, it can now access the folders located on my desktop. You consider it presents all the folders located in the desktop. Now you consider it says a nutrition. This is what we have in the desktop also, and you can also be able to create a new file in the desktop. Consider it creates a uh, folder called programming with Kumaresan. You consider now we successfully creates the folder, and when I go to the desktop, we consider here we have a new folder. Not only this, you can perform all the operations that are listed here. You consider you can read a file, you can read multiple files, you can write a file, you can edit a file, and these are the one example of using the MCP server. That is the this is an example of file system. There are lots of examples of MCP servers that you will see it while continuing watching the video. So let's get started. So this is the article of the model context protocol. This is a protocol to enable LLM to access the external data source. It can be Gmail, Google Calendar, or it can be your local files, etc. And for this, we're going to use the Cloud Desktop because the ChatGPT has not yet adapted the MCPs. Only the Cloud has adapted the MCP. That's why we're going to use the Cloud Desktop. So make sure you go to the cloud.ai and download this for Windows. Consider I have already downloaded this Cloud for desktop. So let me scroll here. You can see I have the Cloud setup file. So make sure you download this and install in your Windows. I have already installed it. This is what I have shown you in the beginning of my video. And let me create a new chat. So let me minimize this. Once we have download the cloud, then you can go to this auto here for cloud desktop users. So we have completed this first step, that is downloading the cloud for desktop. Then we need to add a configuration file to the cloud desktop. So there are lots of servers available out there, that is the MCP servers. In this video, we're going to use the file system server. So I have opened this GitHub repository. In this repository, you consider this is the repository that I was talking about. In this repository, they provide lots of servers for the MCP. So we have to add this server to the cloud desktop. Let me go to the servers now. You consider if you scroll down, you consider we have the AWS, and we also have the everything. We have the file system, we have the Google Drive, also the Google Maps. And in this video, we're gonna see the file system. And if you scroll down, they also provide the third-party servers, official integrations, Alibaba Cloud Analytics, and Box, and Firecrawl. So in this video, we're gonna see this file system. So let me click on this file system. So we're gonna add this MCP server to the Claude Desktop, that is the configuration file. And if you scroll down, they give you a detailed description like what you can do using these MCP servers. You can create a file, read a file. So yeah, these are the features. You can create and write files, and you can also move files, and you can search files and get the file metadata. And to do this, we have to add this configuration file. If you scroll and consider npx, so this is the uh, configuration file that I was talking about. So let me minimize everything. So to add this configuration file, just go to the Claude Desktop and click on this three icon and click on file and click on settings. Here under the developers option, you have a option called edit config. Click on that, it will open up a new file in the file explorer. You can see that this is the file that we need to edit. So let me drag and drop this file into our file editor. You can see that currently this is empty. Let me go to the browser and let me copy this configuration file, and I'm gonna paste it now. So let's replace this and paste it with our code that we have copied. So if you are using the Linux, then you can good to go with this configuration file. You don't need to change anything. But if you are using the Windows, you have to modify it so that it will work for Windows. And we also need the Node.js to install in our system to work properly. So in the Linux also you have to install the Node.js. So make sure you install the Node.js. Consider it is work on the command npx. So let me um, close this now, and I'm gonna open the command prompt to see if the Node.js is installed successful or not. And we also don't need the -y command for the Windows. So if you are using the Linux, so make sure you include that. But if you are using the Windows, you can exclude them. So let me open up the command prompt now, and if you type npm-v, it will give you the version that is installed on your Windows machine. You consider currently I have installed the version 16 and npm-v, and you have to install in Node.js. To install in Node.js, just open a new tab and just type Node.js download. So click on the first result that says download Node.js, and so make sure you download the Node.js and install it in your operating system. I've already done that. That's why I get this version number 16, and the npm that I'm using is the 8.15. So that's it. Let me clear the screen. Here we need to provide where the Node.js is located. To get the location, just type the command where node. You consider this is the location where the Node.js is located. Let me copy this. I'm gonna replace this with the one that we have copied. So in the Windows, you have to replace the single black slash with the double black slash. Then only it should work. And then we need to install this library. So let me copy this library. So this is the model context protocol server for the file system. So npm install, and we're gonna provide the -g for the installing it globally, and we have to install this, that is the MCP server for the file system, and press enter. We need this library so that it will work properly. Consider it starts installing the library for us. This is a library that contains the files for the MCP server. Consider now the library has been downloaded successfully. If you go to the file explorer to see where the library is downloaded, if you go to the program files, so inside this program file it will be installed somewhere inside this Node.js. And if you click on this node modules, you can see that we have the npm, and select that, and inside this we also have another node modules. If you open that up, you can see that we have lots of modules that we have installed. It will be placed inside here. So inside this there will be the model context protocol that we have installed now will be located. We have to provide this file location. So let me clear that, and to get the file location, npm root -g, it will tell where the node modules are installed. Inside the node modules, we have the model context protocol module that we have installed. So let me copy this, and I'm gonna paste it before the module that we have installed. Let me also change this a double backslash so that it will work properly. So under these node modules, we have the model context protocol for the server file system. So let's also include the double backslash. Let's also rename this to double backslash. So let me copy this to make sure this file is located. So let me open up the command prompt and paste it, and you consider it opens the file explorer. Consider under the dist, that is this distribution, we have the index.js file. So we have to provide this location now. So under this dist folder, we have the index.js file. So index.js. So that's it. Now we're good to go. So this is where the model context protocol for the file system is located. Then we need to provide the folders that the MCP servers can access. So currently I have accessed the desktop to get the folder URL. So let me go to the desktop and type cd. Consider the my username is Kumaresan. So let me replace the username to the Kumaresan. So this will be Kumaresan, and I'm gonna copy this and paste it below now. So let me paste it now, and I'm gonna give you another folder called the documents. So let me open up this PC, and inside the documents I'm gonna give this folder now. So now the MCP server can access these two folders. It can access all the folders as well as the files inside this top folder, and that's it. Now we good to go. Let me close that now, and I'm gonna open the Claude Desktop one more time. So next show you restart now. Now when you open this, so if you click on this edit icon, you can see here we have a new option called the file system. If you click on that, you can see that we have this access to, we can read a file, we can edit a file, and we can also access the directories. And for the prompt, I'm gonna give you a text like what are the folders are available in desktop. Now it should give us what are the folders are available in desktop. Earlier it can't able to access the folders, right? But now it should access what are the folders are available in the desktop. So it asks me, would you like to list the contents of your desktop folder? So I'm gonna give you a prompt like yes, list the folders now. You consider I will list the contents of your desktop folder. You consider in the desktop we have the AI correction, Django, portfolio, King's restaurant. So let me go to the desktop to verify that. You can see that we have the AI correction, we have the Django portfolio at the top, and we also have the nutrition finder using AI. This is what we have or written by the cloud. You can see that we have this on different folders, and these are the files located at the desktop, and we can create a new folder in the desktop now. So create a new folder called the programming with Kumaresan in desktop. So my usage is over for this account, so let me log out, and I'm gonna switch it to the another account now. So let me click on this profile icon and click on log out. I'm gonna log in my second account. Now I have logged into my second account. So let me paste the command that we have given earlier, that is creating a new folder on the desktop, and click on this icon now. It should create a new folder called the programming with Kumaresan in the desktop. So just give you a few minutes, it will do its job, and click on allow always. You consider I have successfully created a new folder called programming with Kumaresan and desktop. If I go to the desktop, here you can see we have the folder. So yeah, this is the folder created by the Claude, and we can also create a new file inside this folder. So let me go to the Claude desktop, and for the prompt I'm gonna give you a text like create a text file inside the folder. So you can see that it starts creating a new file inside that folder. So let me minimize this, and if I go inside that folder, consider now we have a text file. Let me open that up. You consider it says welcome to programming with Kumaresan. This file can be used to take note. Isn't this amazing? The cloud can access your desktop folder. Not only the desktop folder, you can access all the folders that you have specified in the configuration file that we have seen earlier. So if you want to limit this access, you can only give you a single folder path. But if you want to access all the folders, you can mention that in a configuration file. So I'm gonna create a new text file and see if we can able to access this. So I'm gonna create a new text file and see if Cloud can access this. So I'm gonna give you a text now. Can you access me, Cloud? So yeah, this is the contents inside this text file, and I'm gonna go to the Cloud desktop and to see if the cloud can access this text file and print the content inside. So in desktop there will be a file called the cloud can access the text. So so what's inside that file? So I have misspelled that. Let me fix that now. So let me stop this. I have misspelled the file name. So you consider I have misspelled that. Let me copy and paste the file name correctly. So this will be Claude or Claude. Actually, let me go to the desktop and copy and paste the name now to make sure no error we get. So let me replace this with the file name. And that's it. This time it should work. So just give you a few minutes now. You consider it has found the file and the contents inside that file is can you access me Claude. You consider this is the content that we have typed, right, and it successfully access that file. And if you click on this edit icon and if you select file system, consider these are the all other operations that we can do. We can read a file, we can read multiple file also, we can edit a file, we can search for a file now. So I'm gonna search the files now. So for that, I'm gonna locate a file now. So I'm gonna go to the documents and I'm gonna locate a file to see if Claude can find where it is. So let me go to the documents. So inside these documents, I have a software called the kingsfood.exe and I'm gonna see if Claude can find it. So tell me the location of the kingsfood.exe. Where is it? Where is it located? So while that is searching, so if you go to the GitHub desktop, not only you can use the file system operation for the MCP, there are lots of MCP servers that you can use. If you go to the servers now, I am showing you one example of the MCP servers. There are lots of examples out there that you can use. You can see that it finds the location that is the inside this desktop. So let me go to this MCP servers list. You can see that there are lots of examples. In this video, I have only show you the file system, but it also available for the Google Drive and Google Maps is also available. And we also have the SQLite. You can see that there are lots of servers available out there. In this video, I'm gonna focus on only one thing to show you what is the power of using the MCP, but you can feel free to explore more. You consider it finds the for software inside this document folder. So let me minimize this. So if you want to use the SQLite, you can select the SQL MCP server and paste the configuration file. And so yeah, this is it. This is the power of using the MCP servers. And if you want to give access to the external data source to the any LLM, in this case you can take ChatGPT or Claude. This is where the power of the MCP comes into picture, where the MCP will provide the access to the external data sources. And in the next video, we're gonna see how to get the MCP server using Python, and we are not gonna use the any pre-built. In this case, we have used the Node.js. In this next video, we're gonna see how to get the same using the Python. So this is for this video, and I will continue in the next one.